Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another video of World of Warships. And today, this game was hilarious. And this game is going to talk a lot about target selection and also kind of keep an eye on the chat because I find it very amusing. I'm currently in the tier 7 light cruiser, the American made, the Helena, and I'm joined with Yudachi and the Nueve de Julio. And I know I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I do apologize, but I'm trying. And so we're both essentially American light cruisers. And they are, for the most part, strong cruisers, except for they're very, very squishy. I highly recommend the Helena, especially if you are currently working up that line, currently working with the Dallas. The Helena's a fantastic ship, especially once you get Eye of HE. Makes her very strong against cruisers, destroyers, battleship, and against carriers. At this time, before obviously the upcoming changes to carriers, very strong ship, has very fantastic AA. Because she does have 5 triple turrets, very similar to kind of what the Megami has. And granted, they don't have the same velocity as the Megami, they still hit pretty nicely. Especially once you get accustomed to her, you can do pretty good damage. So starting off, we have a enemy New York pushing in. Keep an eye, I'm actually very curious on whether or not this New York is actually firing at any of us. Let's actually kind of keep an eye on this. So keep in mind the fact that both myself and Yudachi are currently, for the most part, sailing and semi-nearly open water. And this New York doesn't seem like he has any interest in actually doing anything. Doesn't seem to want to fire his guns at us at all. And I don't understand why. It's just an odd fact, but this will actually continue to happen through the majority of this battle. And you will see this time and time again as we play through this. So right now we are playing on Trident, playing everyone's favorite map, Epicenter. So obviously we're trying to be in a position to where we can actually help our TDs out as much as possible. And surprisingly, I don't think we actually see very much in the way of DDs. We do have a Scharnhorst starting to push around the corner. Do have to be careful about that Scharnhorst, because the Scharnhorst does actually have torpedoes. And that's not really what I want to deal with, to say the very least. Because obviously having those torpedo boat coming around the corner, yeah, there's not much we can do against them. Now this New York, I think, is the only battleship that actually shoots at us in this entire match. Actually, sorry, the only ship that actually shoots at me personally. Unfortunately, Yudachi does have a pleasant welcome with the Scharnhorst, as the Scharnhorst is actually currently coming around the island. And yeah, that's highly unfortunate. Actually does his level best to get a shot in. Try not to show off too much broadside. And once again, I'm actually currently in open water. Instead, the Scharnhorst turns his guns, hoping to whole hopes that his torpedoes are going to in fact land on Yudachi. Yeah, no. So, broadside battleship, fire AP. And once again, AP against the Scharnhorst did pretty good job. Finally is taken out. Always keep that in mind, even though the Helena does have 152mm caliber shells, they can still rack up damage against broadside targets such as the Scharnhorst. Now, one little funny thing I did mention at the very beginning of this match is chat. There is a friendly hood on this team who apparently has never won but 3 battles on this map, and he was complaining about it in chat at the very beginning and essentially said we were going to lose. This hood can you take a wild guess as to what his current location is on the map? If you guess C9, you are correct. He is in fact the most furthest way direction, and good lord, look at that. 3 ships almost simultaneously destroyed at the exact same time, and simultaneously. But the Hood is so far back, and the Hood's not particularly a fantastic battleship. It has very major issues with dispersion that I would not be keeping at long range. War's Way, you could probably get away with it, but the Hood, not really so much. And once again, coming back to the whole point of this video, is focusing on, or better yet, prioritizing your targets should be a key thing, especially this New Mexico, which has very large caliber guns, and there are in fact 2 semi-broadside light cruisers, but instead he decides to ignore us. We will see him in a little bit. Now we do have our Hydro on. The Moss is currently being detected by our Hydro, and does pop his own, and does realize obviously that there's a Helena coming around the corner. And this is why I just love the Helena. 7,734 right there. And the angle on the guns is actually very fantastic. We actually do manage to get a kill, which is kind of nice. But the angles on the guns is really fantastic that you don't have to show a huge amount of broadside to get all 5 turrets onto a target, and they can hurt. I really do love the Helena. I've had battles against tier 9s, taking out tier 9s, albeit it was an Mbuki, I will admit. Makes it a little bit easy, but it's a very strong ship and fairly underestimated at times. So we do know that there is, in fact, I believe a Fiji in that smoke screen, but unfortunately for myself, my Hydro is down, and I'm gonna try to take out this Omaha because we are trying to sneak up on this Fiji, and the Fiji does have torpedoes that we don't really want to get spotted, but unfortunately for us, yeah, we're gonna get spotted, and I'm gonna be a terrible aim apparently, which is kind of sad. But hey, there we go. 1 shell hits, gets a Citadel, and that is in fact our second kill of the game. That can apparently count. Fortunately for us, no longer detected. But this Fiji decides to come out against 2 cruisers, and oh, just look at this damage. Almost opening salvo from both myself and Yudachi, brings him to near death, and finally goes down to Yudachi in the Nueve. Now once again, for the most part, we've been kind of in situations where we should have been pretty much blapped. But this New Mexico is still not interested in shooting at light cruisers. He's instead focused on the Normandy. Because right now, if I was this New Mexico, I'd be shooting these light cruisers, get rid of those out of the battle. But unfortunately for him, but fortunately for us, he's in fact going to actually focus on the Normandy, who is pretty much full health, that he's just gonna go down very, very quickly, and all that's left on the enemy team is a destroyer and the cruiser. And guess what, Hood? You're in fact alive, and we're actually going to win this battle. So I guess the most important thing is always to prioritize your targets and focus down targets that you could very well hurt very quickly, instead of ignoring them and letting them damage, well, pretty much your team. Well, with that, all that's left is this Miyoko. Should go down. Actually, I do apologize. There is a destroyer around somewhere, and I believe it's a Mutsuki, and he's gonna try to be stealthy, but unfortunately for the Mutsuki, it's not a very stealthy ship. Probably going to eat my words here in a moment, because we're not spotted, haven't been detected in a little while. Probably means that there is in fact a destroyer near that island, because currently the outer ring is not being capped, so he has to be around here somewhere. So we're gonna try to find him, and it's actually at Akatsuki. So yeah, a little bit off there, but Don't blame me. It's been a while since I've played this game. But that's actually going to be it for this video. Because unfortunately for this Akatsuki, he actually meets a wonderful Hood who has major issues with this battle and is in fact going to go down. So thank you guys so much for joining in and watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Side Gen.